I'm your host, Jason Tartick, and welcome to Trading Secrets. We talk all things money on this podcast, and we're teaching all the stuff we just weren't taught in the classroom. Nothing supports this show more than liking, commenting, and of course, subscribing. Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today, we are joined by media entrepreneur and podcast host, Rayna Greenberg. Rayna is the co-host of Girls Gotta Eat, one of the most successful podcasts in the world, known for its hilarious, unfiltered takes on dating, relationships, sex, and modern life. Beyond podcasting, she is a creative powerhouse. She launched one of the first viral food and lifestyle accounts on Instagram, One Hungry Jew, and turned that early success into a full-blown media career. Now, between producing weekly episodes, managing live shows across the country, and building brand partnerships and so much more, she is a masterclass in how to turn creativity into a thriving business. Today, we'll dive into the business of podcasting, the power of digital storytelling, and how humor, hustle, and honesty became part of her brand. Thank you so much for joining us on Trading Secrets.
Hi, Jason. That was so nice.
Oh, do you like that intro?
I love that intro.
Yeah, you deserve that intro. You've been killing it out here. Putting all your details, the dirt, your opinions on the line for 7+ years.
Yeah, it's a lot of information out there about
There's a lot. There's a lot. All right. Well, I think that would actually be, your podcast. I listened to it for this prep. I've been on your podcast. It's fun. It's exciting. Your banter is just like unmatched and your community super strong. So I was thinking, you know what? Let's lighten it up on Trading Secrets a little bit. I came onto your show and talked about finance. So I think you should come on this show and talk about your expertise. So I got like 10, we'll call it dating questions. Okay. And I want your opinion on it.
I'm so excited about this.
You're ready to do this?
And you were amazing on our show, by the way. It was in April of 2024.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and listen, you were fantastic.
Yeah, go check that one out. It was fun. And you've had a ton of people from the Bachelor franchise. You guys cover a lot of reality TV and pop culture too.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, that's I remember going into that one because we were promoting my book, Talk Money to Me. I'm like, are we like how like I've listened to some of your episodes. I'm like, are we going there? And my PR person was like, well, like not all the way there, but like we could flirt with the line of going there. I'm like, all right, well, we'll dabble. You guys kept it PG though.
We run the gamut. You don't have to come on the show and talk about like anal and blowjobs. Like a big part of relationships is finance and how do we talk about money. It's probably the number one reason people break up in marriages. Well, I won't get too personal, but I think it's probably the biggest issue the couples face, and it's so taboo, and so it's very important. It's just as important as talking about sex or communication or anything else.
But you said you wouldn't get personal. Why not?
Oh, I was thinking about my own family and like why my parents got divorced.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Was money a contributing factor?
Yeah, for sure.
So do you have, we'll get into these questions in a second, but do you have a very strong stance on money in relationships?
Everybody that I've been with is different. I just think that my stance is like address the issues early, have clear boundaries with somebody. I've made those mistakes before where I've started paying for everything and I never say anything about it. And then you get far down the road and you're mad at somebody, but like you've created the scenario and never communicated with somebody that you are uncomfortable.
What do you mean you're paying? Because that's so counterintuitive. That's not anything I've ever been in. What do you mean that you're paying for everything?
I've been in relationships where I made significant amounts of money more than my partner, which is fine. I think there's a million ways to contribute to a relationship outside of just money. You know, I think there's a lot of emotional benefits to being with somebody, sexual benefits.
Yeah.
Somebody can clean the house and make dinner and make plans and walk the dog and do all these things. So I don't equate one thing more important than the other, but I found myself being the one to always be the one to pull out my phone for every Uber, always pick up the check for dinner. If we rented a car, I would rent the car. And it felt really imbalanced, but I think it just became this like silently accepted thing. And then I would be like seething on the inside. And that's not fair to be mad at somebody for something you never told them that you're not on board with.
That's true. Talk money to me. All right. Well, you talked a little bit right there about how you make a lot. We'll get into that. So stay tuned to that. All right. Let's talk about some dating tips. So you've talked on your show about how dating apps could be soul sucking, but also necessary sometimes for some people. Yeah. So what do you think people are doing most wrong on dating apps now?
I think the dating apps are a means to an end, right? I think that some people are like, oh, I don't want to do it. Well, if you're feeling negatively about yourself, about dating apps, if you go into it with that attitude, I would say just don't do it. Like it's not a race to the finish line. But I think that it's not as heavy as people make it. You know, you don't have to mine a ton of information from somebody. I think the goal is to find somebody that lives in an area that you like that maybe has a job that you feel like is interesting. You can talk to them. They're age appropriate for you.
Sure.
Just exchange a little banter and go on a date. We
Okay.
don't need to stay on there a super long time.
Okay.
I don't get worried about like, when is he going to ask me out? It's a dating app. You're supposed to ask somebody out. So it's totally fine for the woman to be like, are you free this week? And
Okay.
when are you free? I think people get stuck pen paling on there for a long time.
Gotcha.
When is he going to ask me out? And it's like, it's not so crazy for you to be the person to say like, are you free this week? And then tee them up.
Okay.
And
What do you mean tee them up?
Tee them up to say, I'm free this day.
Okay.
Here's the time. Here's the place.
You and you're out.
And then you go meet up with them. Also, I think
Okay.
people feel a real sense of rejection when they're talking to somebody and they stop responding.
Gotcha.
And you just have to remind yourself, this is a total stranger.
Mm.
Work came up, friends came up, other people they were sleeping with came up. People just forget. I mean, sometimes I'll like go on a dating app and I'll message like 5 people and then I won't go back on there for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I feel bad, but it's not because I didn't think you were like good looking. I just got busy.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. Do you have an app that you say is like a good place to start or stay away from?
So
Give me a red, yellow, green flag on the apps.
I like all the apps. I think Hinge does a great job at like teeing
Yeah.
you up for conversation. The
Yeah.
prompts are great. I haven't really used Bumble, but I've never heard anything bad about it.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Field.
Field. Never heard of Field.
So Field is under the same umbrella as Match owns all these companies. I think they own Tinder, Hinge, and Field. Field,
Match. That's a throwback. That online site?
they're the parent company. of
I
all these
had
companies.
no idea.
It's an app now.
Okay.
Did you ever use like websites like OkCupid?
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't used OkCupid, but I do recall hitting like and it's obviously not a dating site, but I remember typing in MySpace in my URL. Like that's how old I am. But I mean, like that's fucking old. But OkCupid, no. But okay, so tell me about Field.
Field, I mean I don't want to call it like a hookup app, but it is for people that want.
Oh, you're playing the field.
Yeah, playing.
And that's your favorite app.
That's my favorite app.
Wait. I also before in your first answer, you talked about like they're fucking other people, they're hooking up with other people. Like what in your world? Because you give a lot of dating advice. Like what is Is it acceptable in 2025 to be banging multiple people? Is it not acceptable? Like what advice do you give your listeners?
I mean, as long as we're not lying to anybody, as long as we're
Yeah.
not telling one person I'm in a committed relationship with you and we're telling another person I'm also in a committed relationship with you. I mean, I think until you have the discussion,
Okay.
and the discussion could also be 3 or 4 dates in. I just want to let you know I am seeing a couple other
Seeing other
people,
people.
or I'm not seeing anybody. It's fine if you are. Like, I like the advice, like try to date a couple people at the same time, but I sort of feel like once I go on 3 dates with somebody, I do want to just like either cut it or give them my full attention.
Is that your rule, the 3-date rule?
No, I just
'Cause I
that's
saw
my
that
own
you
personal
quoted
thing.
that before, but
Oh,
okay.
I think after 3 dates, I know if I want to keep seeing somebody or
Okay.
not. I have a pretty clear picture.
Okay.
And
I like it.
it's hard for me to have like, there's been times in my life where I've had like 2 or 3 people I was dating, and it's hard for me to like give my full attention to one person if 2 other people have my attention.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. You could sprinkle eggs in multiple baskets, but if you put them in one, you might get a better return. That's even a finance element there.
It's also hard to remember like what other people say. I forget what stories I share with you.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you guys have a lot. I mean, you got a lot of episodes. Every Monday, Thursday, there's a lot of stories out there, but the field is your favorite because it allows you to have a little how do you do and get out, right?
Listen, it's a sex app, but
Is it like, okay, wow.
it's a sex app.
crazy.
So people basically go on there for all kinds of reasons. It's
Interesting.
great because you can list what you're kind of interested in. So
Yeah.
it's couples looking for a third. It's people that have certain
Get the
kinks.
fuck out of here.
My profile is so vanilla. And listen, you go on there, you realize it's the same people that are on Hinge and Bumble. My profile really just says like, let's just say, I don't want to be a third in your couple. But
Have
like,
you ever done that on the field, been a third?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever been approached to do that?
No, because my profile specifically says I don't want to do
because
that.
you'll like filter based on that.
Yeah, and I
That's
specifically am
wild.
just like, this could be like a funny way that we meet.
Sure.
Let's just see.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah,
had
yeah.
really good experiences with it.
Interesting.
I think that men kind of think they might get laid, so they respond 100%
Oh,
of
so
the
they're more,
time.
like intentional with it.
They're really intentional. They pick a time, they pick a date place, they show up. I mean, it's really fun.
That is unbelievable. I feel like if you don't have a sponsorship for Field, like you need one immediately.
We do.
Okay,
We do.
gotcha. And check.
And the founder has been on our show too, but I am
Okay,
like
I
a
love
huge
it.
fan of it.
Okay, all right. Field is the place to go, guys. And for more reasons than just hooking up. Sounds like you're getting more intention with what's happening.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. We'll keep this ripping. This is a fun start to Trading Secrets. One of the first ever just like this. You have said before on your show that the car selfie is the number one red flag for you. Is that still your biggest ick?
No.
No? This might have been a misquote then.
I mean, it might have been a selfie.
Or
in
you've
a
had
car.
so many episodes, you might have said it real quick. I think it came up in an episode. You're just like, a selfie in a car is my biggest red flag. Like,
on a dating app?
No, I think it was, I think in the show, we'd have to like reference it. You were just referring it to in conversation about like red flags and icks, or maybe it was someone you saw that did it.
I feel like an Instagram feed full of car selfies, not my favorite.
Sure.
I don't really want men that post that much on social media to begin with.
Okay.
It's not for me. I mean, unless it's like you and like it's a financial thing. If you make money from it, fine. But it's not my favorite thing. There's a world of icks. But if I like somebody, none of those things bother me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can be an ick machine, but if I'm attracted to you.
An ick machine. It's like, I think, okay, here's my take on the ick. First of all, I hate the word. I think it's like to take this back to your podcast. I think the second someone says ick, it's like a bully tactic, right? Like it's like I just think it's like bully. So like I don't like the word. The second thing is I do think, let's use it though. I think every person in the world has icks, and then it's like, do those icks kind of like trigger you or not? Right? Like every human's got icks. It's just, do those icks, are you like, every person in the world has things that are annoying. It's just in the relationship you're currently in. Are those annoying things like deal breakers or trigger points?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Icks to me they're really petty. Okay. It has to be something like super, super petty. Like it turned me off to watching men eat soup.
Oh yeah. Kind of slurps and stuff.
Yeah. Watching men put chapstick on.
What?
You all
I wonder
the
if I
chapstick
have
up in your fist and then like fist your whole face.
Wait, I have chapstick.
How do you put it on?
I wish you didn't say that.
I know.
All right, this is exact. So I would take it off.
I
would take it off like this. It's up right now, but I would first crank it up because I don't want my lips to go on the plastic, and then I would go like this.
Okay, but would you hold it in your fist, like your whole fist, had I not mentioned
like
it?
this?
Yeah, no, a lot of guys do that.
That's like serial kill. That's like the guys that eat like steak and they like kind of like this guy over here. They cuts the knife like that. Like, you know, the people that can't cut right. It's like people
that can't hold a knife and fork. There's a lot of restaurant-related icks that I have.
There's a lot of restaurants.
Yes, I mean, any type of like slurping. Oh my god, food gets on you.
You know, it's not an ick for me. I hate the word fucking ick. I hate it. But you know what I do notice when this is so stupid. But like when you gotta put the napkin on your lap. Like if you go to a nice restaurant, you gotta put it on your lap. Mm-hmm. And like, there's always someone at the table. It'll be like halfway through. It's like, it's fucking.
I am the last one at the table to put it on my lap.
Are you? Okay.
Food is not on the table, but there's always a drink on the table.
Okay, there's always a drink on the table. I like that. Well,
but I don't think you can turn a man off. I don't think men get the ick. I can
tell you right now, that's not true.
I have done unbelievable things, and men were still into me.
That's because I think those unbelievable things don't bother them.
What's your ex besides napkin?
There's just like intense arrogance pisses me off for any human.
That's a turn off though. It's not an ick.
Oh, interesting.
An ick is petty, real petty.
Like real dumb and stupid and small.
Like she has something in her teeth and she just keeps talking to you.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts. That would drive me. Okay, here's one. Here's one. like if she doesn't floss.
Yeah.
Right? Because I just find that that's like kind of gross if you don't floss.
Yes.
If you are unaware of your surroundings, and this is definitely projection, but with like your voice and what you're doing. So like if you're around other people and you're taking a phone call and you're unaware that like you're on speaker, it's loud and you're talking about, like you can't remove yourself from the room. You're not putting a headset in, like you're just so unaware. I'm like, yeah, be kidding me.
Also a turnoff. That's a personality trait. That's being unaware of your effect on other people.
Okay.
An ick is like,
you are a dating expert, huh?
An ick is like we're at the grocery store and you knock a can off the shelf and you run after the can and you can't quite catch it as it's rolling.
That's an ick.
I will watch you do that and never want to fuck you again. A man with a backpack running. Disgusting.
A man with a backpack running, huh?
Yes.
I'm going to keep my brain ripping and roaring here because I definitely got to have some. But dude, that's turn off versus ick. I'm having a tough time separating the two, but I'll keep thinking about it and I'll let you know. All right, let's keep this going. What's a green flag that you've learned to look for today that maybe a few years ago you didn't? You've been in the podcasting space for a while. You've talked about green flags in the podcasting space for a while. So what's now one you look at that, like when you started the podcast in 2018, 19, maybe in 20, you didn't look for before?
I really look for how people speak about the other people in their life. Do you speak positively about your family members, the friendships you have? Are you always the victim? Is everybody else always wrong? Do you like showing up for other people? I look for not how just people just speak about themselves and talk to me, but how you speak about the people in your life.
Okay. I like that. That's a good one.
Thanks.
As you said that, I thought about an ick. If you just leave shit everywhere, that's an ick. That's not a turn off. Is that a turn off or an ick?
Like a sloppy person.
Here's a specific one.
Turn off.
It's a clean, okay, like the sink is clean, right?
Yeah.
And then you're not in a rush, like you got to be somewhere, but you leave a dirty thing in the sink. It's like, why? Just like put it in the dishwasher. Is that an ick?
To me, it's a turn off that somebody is just kind of sloppy in their home.
Interesting. Okay. I'm really having a tough time with turn off and ick, but we'll keep it going. If someone deletes...
That was good. That was
good, right? I'm getting better. Okay, you're teaching me.
You're getting pettier.
If someone deletes their app after 2 good dates, is that sweet or is that a red flag?
I guess it would depend on the date, and I would need more context.
Okay.
I mean, I think that it's not great to think you found the one after 2 dates. Certainly people have.
Okay.
Certainly people go on one date and they're like, that's the person.
More context is fair.
I think it's also fine to be like, this was great and I've found what I need to find for now. I'm going to pull into this parking space.
Yep. Okay. All right. Pull in the parking space. That's a good transition. Now we're talking sex. You are the expert here. So married couples and or serious couples, how often should they be having sex?
So we just did this great episode where we polled tens of thousands of people in our audience and asked them 6 months in, how often are you having sex? 2 years in, did marriage change it? Did children change it?
Wow.
Living together or not?
Great case study.
Long distance or not? So it does vary. It seems like 1 to 3 times a week is a pretty sweet spot for most people until you have children. Children is the thing that really seems to like, I mean, you're exhausted.
Sure.
You're just trying to survive. 2 to 3 times a week for couples 1 to 2 years in is pretty common.
Okay.
But everybody, sex is such a range and a spectrum. And I don't know that everybody wants to have sex all the time. I've had relationships where I had sex every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, we didn't really have sex that much. That's how I kind of know it's sort of over. I would say I'm a more sexual person than the average person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that important to everybody. And I think people seek out intimacy in different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know that sex dissipates, right? So in a long-term relationship, if you feel like once every 10 days is good enough for you, also fine. But do you feel like your partner tells you that you're beautiful? Do you sit on the couch and cuddle up? Do you hold hands? Like, is their hand on the small of your back when you guys go out together? Like, there's other ways to have intimacy. And I think 2 years in, once every 7 to 10 days is not that crazy.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think for couples that are dating and married without kids, I agree with you. I think 2 to 4 times is good. I think like 2 to 4 times.
4 is great. That's a lot.
I think like early on, like in relationships, I feel like you should be banging every day. Like, I mean, there's no reason not to be.
Yes.
And I can imagine how kids would impact that because I mean, that's just a natural thing. But I've been in relationships where like towards the end of the relationship, whether I knew it was coming or not, like the sex was still great, but the relationship ended for other reasons. And then I've been in relationships where it's like so obvious that it's just done and sex is just like done for a while. Like, and then you're just like, there's so much built up resentment between us that's like, we don't even want to touch each other. And I think that's natural. And I think that's normal for people that have that built up resentment. Question I got for you then is in your study, those are great resource and data points, but how about the opposite side? Did you see anything like people weren't having sex for X amount of time, or like some people hadn't had sex in like a year? And if so, did you ever bring those people on and talk to them, or do you have any resolution or thoughts or anything like that? Because I do think there's someone listening to this podcast right now that has been with their significant other. And I will say, I'm going to make a guess. There's someone listening right now who has not had sex with their partner in the last 6 months. And I'm curious what you think.
So we didn't poll people to ask, have you not had sex with your romantic partner for that amount of time? But I will tell you personally, I know friends that have not had sex with their romantic partner for a year, 2 years. I think that sometimes so much contempt builds up between people, but you own a house together. You have a dog together. You have a child together. You're married. You are so invested. I mean, you and I both know so many people in reality television together that their jobs are based on staying together with this person on television.
Yep.
And they do not have sex, have not had sex for years. I guess that would be, go to therapy if it bothers you, open your relationship up if that's an option, if you both care. It's never happened to me, but I've never been with anybody long enough for that to happen.
Yeah.
But not only is it, yeah, it's common, it happens. I know plenty of people that it happens to.
Mm.
And I think for some people, a month goes by and you think, well, that's okay. And then 2 months goes by and you're like, all right, this is starting to be an issue. Let's talk about it. And then it's almost hard to like get back into it. Like I've had friends say to me, like, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah, interesting. You lose that rhythm. You got to get it back. All right, that's good stuff. What's one dating take you and Ashley still don't agree on?
I will say for a long time we disagreed on who should pay on dates, and now we are aligned.
All right, what's your take on paying on a date?
So this is a very hot topic. It's been a hot topic since day one of the podcast. I was always like, I take out my card. I offer to split every single time on a first date. And she's always been the opposite. No need to do that. I've come around to it. I don't need to pay on a first date. If I'm taking my card out, I don't like you. And I'm not going to see you again. And that's your indication that I don't like you. But by the way, I wouldn't agree to a first date location that's like super expensive. Like I think 4 drinks, 2 drinks each. Like I think that that's an appropriate first date. I don't think anybody needs to be on the hook for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
But I have come around to, I'm not paying on a first date.
Okay, I like it. There's a study that just came out. I was on News Nation talking about it, that 34% of Gen Zers right now are accepting a first date strictly with the intention to get it for free, which is wild. It's interesting. A lot going on there.
I've heard that for a long time, that people accept that for a free dinner. I mean, I moved to New York when I was 22. I was broke as shit. I would have accepted something for a free meal.
I like it.
But you can't pay me to hang out with somebody I don't like.
That
I'm not attracted to. Like, I don't have it in me.
Yeah. If you're on the field and you get a connection, do you get a dinner first or do you just meet up? How's that work?
You don't have to sleep with people. Like, it's not like you don't have to sleep with people. Sometimes I do.
I like it. Okay. All right. We're going to get into your entire career, but the last thing I got for you, it's a big question. Team prenup or team no prenup, and why?
I am absolutely team prenup because whether or not you have somebody work that out for you legally or not, the state will decide what money you owe each other.
I said that on your podcast.
You have a prenup, no matter what. You said it on the podcast. Laura Wasser said it on our show. She's a very famous divorce lawyer.
In LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She's done Kim Kardashian, Britney Spears. I mean, she's done literally everybody. The state will decide what you owe each other no matter what. And I don't say it flippantly. Prenups they're painful and they're harder to do than you would assume. I mean, you really have to open up every single dollar that you've made and share it with somebody. Your bank account balances, what your inheritance is. You have to really share a lot with the other person, and it's painful to think like, if we break up, what happens to all these things?
Sure.
But you have to be protected. Everybody thinks that their marriage is never going to end, and more than 50% of people are wrong.
Yep.
And I really have seen it happen with both. I've seen friends get dragged through. I have a friend who's still getting divorced 2 years later. He makes a ton of money. She is very angry, and it is very contentious. And I've seen the other side of things where another close friend of mine had a prenup. Him and his wife were divorced in 6 weeks.
Wow.
It was just like done and out.
It's like, we know what we agreed to. It's done. We're over. All right.
No kids, and that's it. Always team prenup.
All right. Well, you said with prenups that you have to disclose everything. We're going to try and get you to disclose just a little bit about your finances career. Let's start with Girls Gotta Eat. 2018 is when you guys started the show. When you started the show, and I know you had been in social media before, was the strategy like, hey, we're going to build this into what it now is today? Was it like, okay, we'll make some revenue on the side? What was the business thought about starting the podcast when you did 2018?
So I had this food Instagram account, like you mentioned, and I was making good enough money from it, but it wasn't consistent.
Like, how much would you say?
I maybe made like 80 grand, but that's on the high end.
Yeah, and this was 2018 for perspective, right? So
that was like 2015 through 2018. I left my job at Amazon. I was making a lot of money at Amazon, and
how much were you making
benefits. I probably made $150,000 plus a lot of stock options plus commission.
And back then, I mean, you factor in inflation. That was what was your role there?
I was a sales rep.
Okay.
They launched a division that was doing food delivery, and my job was to go into new markets and launch with a bunch of restaurants.
Cool.
And I had this sort of unique background of I had worked in restaurants my whole life, and I'd worked in startups as well, like tech startups. So I was like uniquely qualified to do this like tech startup in food at Amazon. And I left that to do social media, and it was sort of like the Wild West back then. I mean, nobody knew how much you could make. There were some fashion influencers. There were certainly not food influencers. It was like a very small market. And I think I got one deal from Postmates that was like $500.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
Let's go.
And I made sure I had $50,000 in my bank account, and I knew that I could cover my rent and bills for the year if I didn't make $1 in social media when
That was
I left
before
Amazon.
you left Amazon. So you gave yourself a runway of $50K.
Yes.
And $50K would have lasted you a year.
At least a year.
Okay.
But in New York City, rent, I live by myself,
Sure.
bills, I wouldn't have been in dire straits at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's take this calculated risk. I can always go back to tech and anything else.
Yeah.
So I left that and I did social media for a couple years. It still was early days. You couldn't get these giant brand deals. There, like, I don't even know if Instagram had videos at that point. There certainly wasn't TikTok and Reels.
It was the day that I think back in 2018, you uploaded a video and it looked like it was a picture, but it just played a video. Like there weren't reels, right?
No.
Yeah. No.
And so I started to think I need something more consistent. I don't like the instability. I need to know when my next paycheck is coming. And I went on this, I gave myself until Labor Day that summer. Okay. This is the summer of 2017. And I went on this trip, this like brand sponsored trip. I met Ashley on the trip and my co-host of my show. And she and I became fast friends. She pitched me on the idea of this podcast. Podcasts were really early on then. And
really early.
This was this is midway through 2017. There weren't that many podcasts.
No, not at all.
So this was before the days of like Call Her Daddy even. I didn't know anybody that was making money in podcasting. And it wasn't like, if you're a comedian, you have a podcast. If you're a business, you have a podcast. These didn't exist.
No.
So she pitched me on this idea and it was just going to be about our lives. And she had said like, is your family going to be cool if you talk about this stuff? And I was like, I think so.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out as we do it. And we had great banter and I really enjoyed her. And I thought she was smart. We were kind of vetting each other. And we launched this hoping that it would be a moneymaker, but I had no real idea of how people made money in podcasting.
Yeah.
We had a website, we did some photos and some branding, but like it wasn't like we always wanted it to be a business decision, but I did not know what it could grow to. I had no concept of it whatsoever.
We recently had Remy Bader on the podcast. She talked about her jean company that she started with her father and how she's like, I love my dad, but when we got into business together, it was hell. So we separated that business. We then just recently had Kayla Martin on from Love Island, and her and Liv got into business with her YouTube channel together. And that was the start of the downfall in their relationship, which we just saw. And she talked a little bit about that. When you guys started it together, were there concerns that you were doing this with a new friend? And then also, how did you decide to negotiate? Like it was her idea to start it. Did she say, I'll take more of a percentage? Like how do you negotiate that from day one?
Okay, so it's a great question.
Yeah.
So it was always going to be a 50-50 split. Also, we didn't really know how much money we could make. There was no thought of touring and merchandise. We've since launched another business, which I'll tell you about. But we were just like, you take half the work, I'll take half the work, and then you take half the money and I'll take half the money. And we really split responsibilities. She's a phenomenal business partner. I had no idea day one what this was going to be. Yeah. I just thought we do trust each other. We were vetting each other of, how do you speak about past jobs? How do you speak about how you like to collaborate with other people? We both worked for ourselves at the time. I didn't really know how it was going to go.
Yeah.
She was much more of a perfectionist than me at the time. I think that working with her has inspired me to be like way more detail oriented.
Yeah.
We just were a very like yin and yang to each other. Like it naturally falls, like the workload naturally falls to the person it should fall to.
Sure.
I trust her implicitly and she's good at certain things and I'm good at certain things. And we really just naturally split that workload. We share a bank account. We share a Venmo. I mean, I control the Venmo. She doesn't even ask me about it. Like I trust her with my life, with my money, but there's checks and balances in place. We have a business manager. There's all kinds of contracts in place. Yeah. The money comes into them. They split it up. We have co-business meetings with our business managers about every dollar that came into the business and how it was split up. But I'm lucky. I'm really lucky. And that doesn't mean that every day she and I get along.
Sure.
And that it's like, amazing every second. But I trust her. There's no egos here. We both want the best for the business. And when we have had fights, really bad fights, we have no choice but to have them and get through them. So like, I'll never know anybody on a level like I know Ashley.
Yeah.
Because that's like my family and my business partner.
Yeah.
And like, there are fights we've had that like maybe if it was another friend, I wouldn't have talked to them for a week, which would have turned into 2 weeks, which would have turned into a month. We don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
We are dealing with this shit right now.
You're in it. You're doing it. It sounds like you did it pretty intelligently and it's just working perfectly. So like, I feel like most business partners don't have that, especially friends that are going into that. And I think those are like good piece of advice for anyone that's thinking about doing it. We're going to get into podcasting and your growth and your numbers. I'm curious though, when you guys have the business, which is such a big part of your brand, but you have your own socials. So if you do your own deals, do you have to kick back some of that to the podcast? Or are you able to do like everything solo on your own and then separate it? Like, how does that work?
That's totally separate. So we have a manager that negotiates those deals. Her name is
Okay.
also Ashley. She's wonderful.
Love
She's
it.
been with me for almost 10 years. She's amazing. Those are totally individual.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll get deals through Dear Media, which is our podcast network, that they say like, I just want Ashley for this, or I just want Rayna for this. So like Nutrafol is a brand, for example.
Sure.
Ashley has talked a lot about her hair journey and losing hair.
Makes sense.
And so like Nutrafol might say like, well, we want the one that talks about hair, or Ashley's a pet and I don't. They might want her for that. Things like that. So that stuff would just go to her.
Got it.
Then there's nothing.
No discrepancy, none of that.
No, and our business manager will just take care of dividing them.
So you're with Dear Media now. Who were you with before?
They're called Authentic Network. We were with them for about 6 years. We monetized the podcast about 6 months in.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, to monetize 6 months in at that time, what did you have to get from like a views or downloads perspective to like start actually making money?
I think even to take a meeting at that point, you had to have 10,000 downloads per episode.
Okay.
I don't know what people would even ask of you today, like 30, 40, 50,000.
Yeah.
So the way that
sounds right.
The way that podcast advertising works, and I mean, if you're doing it like legitimately, it's different than social media. A lot of times social media, people just they give you an offer and they're like, I think this is what it's worth. I think this is what the value of your listenership or your audience is. Podcasting should be based on what's called a CPM. So it's a clicks per thousand, and there's a dollar amount applied to every 1,000 listeners that you have. That dollar amount is anywhere from $20 to $50. I know this sounds a little complicated, but for every 1,000,
it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Every 1,000 listeners you have, you get 20 to 50, and it usually hovers on the lower end, 25 to $30. But basically, the brand is saying this is what we think your 1,000 listeners is worth. So somebody like Call Her Daddy or Joe Rogan might get closer to that $50.
Sure.
Typically, it hovers around 30.
Okay.
And so if it's done legitimately, that's just kind of how you get paid in podcasting. And it's probably not worth somebody's time under 10,000 listens per episode.
Yeah.
The bigger networks.
Okay.
But people might want to just bet big on you, and they think, you have a history of reality television or something like that. Maybe I don't have a ton of listens today, but they know that you're going to grow.
Yeah. So after 6 months, you guys start monetizing. At what point do you start, like, do you go immediately to networks, or were you signed right away to a network? Like, how did that work?
This happened really like randomly. I met this guy while we were recording. I thought he was cute. I went out with him.
That's like, there's no better way to start your podcast deal making skills other than you going on a date with a guy.
He was so hot. We went on another podcast. He was in the room. I just kept staring at him, and he was so hot. And I actually called him for advice about something. And he was like, we can put you on our network. You won't make that much money. You don't have that many downloads, but we can get you on the network. Yeah. And he put us on the network, and it was Authentic Network. And we ended up having a very long, like six-year relationship with them. And they were wonderful.
Okay.
So there's two different kinds of advertising and podcasting. You can be under a media network, which is like Dear Media or Podcast One, that has a giant list of shows, and they'll cross promote, and there's a lot of branding. There's also like Sirius and iHeart. I mean, there's a million of them. Yep. Or you just have an ad network that basically just says like, we have exclusive rights to sell ads into your show. We'll give you 4, 5, 6 ads a week, whatever. You'll agree upon the price and the brands. So that's what Authentic was. They were just an ad network.
Got it.
And then typically those networks don't really speak the language of like, let's cross promote with social and podcast advertising. So there's all kinds of agencies that sell all kinds of things. So there's usually like HelloFresh, for example, is a food meal kit company. They'll have an agency that they use to sell podcast ads, and they'll have a total different agency that sells social media ads. Yep. And those agencies don't speak the same language.
Correct.
So like when we would get deals for HelloFresh, for example, from the podcast network, I would say like, well, food's visual. So it makes sense to give us, but like they didn't they don't speak the same language. They're not sold by the same people.
Different analytics, different metrics, all that
Yes.
stuff. Stay tuned to the recap, guys. I'll break down exactly on the trading secrets side exactly what you're referring to. So stay tuned to that recap. We'll get into that. So 6 months in, then you start making a couple bucks. You get signed to a network. At what point, see if we can flirt around with earnings a little bit. At what point do you make more from Amazon salary compared to your podcast salary?
Oh, that's a good question. We started touring pretty early.
Like what year did you start touring?
We started in 2018. So we started the podcast in February of 2018, and our first show was September 12th, 2018.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So tour, are you making more off touring or the podcast?
So you make more off podcasting typically.
Okay.
There's so much money that goes into touring that comes out of your pocket that what you're netting is nothing compared to what you net from ad deals on the podcast.
Okay.
At least for the average person.
Okay, so and your tours, let's just like paint the picture before we start to get in the business. You guys do things differently. You invest a lot in your tours. It's like Cirque du Soleil means like a night out, but it's also a podcast. So paint the picture before we get into the business of like, if someone came to one of your shows, what can they expect?
I mean, it is a wild, crazy night out. People plan their birthday parties, their bachelorette parties, their trips around these shows. They are wild and crazy. We open with dancers, we have strippers, we have t-shirt guns, we have cryo jets, we bring people up on stage, we do talent shows, we send the strippers out in the audience to strip on people. It is really wild and crazy. We have a projector screen where we do all kinds of assets, and we have a number of things that we do, 8 to 10 different segments, and we'll pick and choose throughout the years, like what is sort of taking off more, what this city has seen us do.
Yeah.
Like we've had talent shows, we've had...
What's a talent show?
We have people come up and tell us what their talents are, and then they just perform the talent.
Give me an example of one.
A lot of singing, a lot of dancing, nothing crazy.
Okay.
One time we had this girl said she could squirt her breast milk really far.
We were like, you turned the cameras off.
No, it's crazy.
How far did it go?
It went everywhere. It like got the whole front row, the whole audience, the whole stage. They had to have like people come clean the stage. It was crazy.
Unbelievable.
But we want people to have like a wild and crazy night. We want it to be partially interactive, not interactive the whole time. We want you to pipe down sometimes. And then throughout that show, we also ask people to tell us who they're there with. So they'll email us and tell us stories about their friends in the audience. We'll do some fun interactive stuff with that. And then Ashley and I each do a comedy set, essentially, where we talk about what's been going on in our lives, our dating lives, Ashley's marriage, things like that.
Unbelievable. I love it. Well, give me an example of like the most recent tour. Talk a little bit about numbers. Like how much can you gross in revenue? How much do you actually walk away with? My understanding is in general, majority of the time that podcasters are touring, they're doing it for, you're getting really good content. You're really connecting with your audience.
Amazing.
And it's a big branding play. It's not as much as an income play. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we weren't on tour this year. I really miss it because, you know, it is the best way we connect with our audience. I just like love seeing all these women in this theater, and they plan their nights around this, and they get dressed up, and sometimes we theme them, and people have costumes, and I have missed it this year, and we have some holiday shows coming up, which I'm really excited about. But in terms of what you spend a lot of money, right?
Okay.
So all the things I mentioned, that costs a lot of money. We buy a projector screen. We have somebody run that whole thing from side stage.
Sure.
We have to pay, a lot of times we have NBA or NFL cheerleading squads open them. So we have to pay them, pay the strippers, and there's travel involved.
How much do the strippers cost?
This is Ashley's department. This is more Ashley's department. Thousands of dollars.
Okay. How much is the NFL team? Or is that Ashley's department?
That is, Ashley really plans the live shows.
I would love to know the cost of that stuff.
It really varies, and it's varied wildly throughout the years. And we've had the biggest team. We had the Dallas Cowboys drum line.
Damn.
We've had the Celtics dancers many times. We had the Washington Commanders. We've had the Colts. We've had the Rams cheerleaders the week they won the Super Bowl. That was so cool. We have had we've had basketball teams also, basketball and football mostly. But it has varied wildly.
Yeah.
Some people just want tickets for the whole team to stay.
To just like,
Yeah. Most of them will wear their uniforms. Yeah. We want to compensate them for rehearsal time. It really has varied wildly.
How many seats are in your shows?
That can vary also. So we have done as big as the Chicago Theater, which is 4,000 seats.
Okay.
Probably a more sweet spot is 1,500 to 2,000.
And then what do you guys charge on average per ticket?
It's tough with Ticketmaster fees these days because they are so expensive, and we don't want to gouge our audience. Our audience is young. We also ask a lot of our audience. We ask them to buy merch. We own a sexual wellness business also.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to gouge people. It can go up to like We'll start at like 42.
Okay.
You usually cap it around 80.
Okay.
We're not trying to like gouge people. I mean, I think we're on the kind of the lower end of what people charge.
Yeah. So if you have 1,000 seats and you're doing $50 a ticket, or let's say you do 2,000 seats, $50 a ticket, that's pretty good top line.
Mhm.
I mean, but how does if you have 100,000 in ticket sales, how does that connect to profitability?
So there's two different kinds of deals, essentially, if I were just like whittle it down. There's comedy clubs and there's theaters. Comedy club deals are really straightforward. They're usually 80 to 90% of the ticket sales. That's the deal. So you obviously charge less. You charge $25 to $40 for a comedy club
'Cause you're gonna
show.
get more from it, yeah.
Yes, but they serve food and alcohol throughout the venue. So it's really, really simple deal. It's usually 80 to 90% of the door. If you want to sell merch, they take a percentage of the merch, but that's it. Really easy to understand.
Cool.
Theater deals are very complex and they're long. So it's all kinds of things you would never think of. The top line, most expensive thing, you pay rent. So
you pay rent in a theater deal.
Yes. And I have seen, this is New York City, that's going to be the most expensive. I've seen $75,000 for the night on a Saturday night to rent a theater.
Wow.
And I'm talking a 3,000 person theater. So $75,000 for the night.
That's insane.
And that's the really, really, really high end. That's the most expensive you'll pay. But 60 grand is not crazy.
That's to open the doors.
Open the doors.
And where do you sell the tickets, through them or through Ticketmaster?
Typically, they're Ticketmaster venues. So Ticketmaster gets their fees also. That's a totally separate thing. And that's just the beginning.
Wow.
So you have to pay for, you'll see all kinds of line items. You'll see staffing. You'll see lighting. You'll see security uniforms. If you want chairs to sit on the stage, you have to bring those in. If you want a wireless mic, you have to bring that in. Union halls, a lot of these venues are union. You have to pay union fees. There's so much money that goes into this just to get the doors open. If you want to sell merch, these venues will take about 20% of the merch.
Wow.
And we have a really incredible agent. So this is not like our deals are the same deals everybody else is getting. We're not getting gouged. This is pretty typical. We have a big time comedy touring agent at WME who's great. Sometimes you'll see on the memo, it'll just say miscellaneous, $15,000.
Fuck, I need to get in the theater business.
And I'm sure, listen, I'm sure it also costs them a lot of money to operate their venues. Like they have to get paid too, but it is plus, 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 plus. So like I have seen deals where you will make your top line will be $130,000 that you brought in, and you will take home 30.
Wow. And then you got to split it, of course.
You split it. You also pay your agent 10%. You pay your business manager 5%. And then you pay all the people that were vendors for you.
So in a situation like that, you're looking at like almost 10% of gross to your actual pocket.
Yeah, that's a worst case scenario.
Wow.
And they're not all that bad.
Sure.
New York City is what I'm using New York as the example. And New York is the worst.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive place to be. It's going to be the most expensive. But there are certainly people that play at like the Chicago Theater or Radio City or things like that. And take home like nothing.
Yeah. Well, and you think about how much effort and time it also takes for you to sell tickets, right? This is the assumption, by the way, you're selling everything out, which you guys do. Yeah. But think about how many people do live shows that don't sell things out. So there are probably a lot, just as we talk about industries and stuff, there's probably a lot of podcasters out there that are selling out smaller venues like a Zanies or something, and they're maybe barely breaking even or just making a couple bucks.
Yeah.
It's so interesting about the industry. I can't believe it.
Entertainers, they don't take home as much as you would think. And you see somebody in these big rooms making all this money, but there's so many fees that come out of your pocket. Also, if you want photography, if you want video, sometimes a lot of venues will charge you to have those people there.
Yeah. Crazy.
But the trade-off is that you get to see your audience, you provide a great night for them, they bring friends. If 20% of the people in a 2,000 person theater promotes you, and then each one of those people has 500 followers, 1,000 followers, the way you get blasted out to all these people, I mean, it just pays for itself with the promotion.
Interesting. Fascinating to learn about this business. Back in, I think it was, I'll check this in the recap if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 2021 or 2022. I had Nick Vial on, and he told me that his podcast was doing, I said, are you doing around 750,000 in gross revenue? He said, we're doing much more than that, but we're doing well. And then the next year he came back, he said it was an explosive year. I now spend more on my podcast than what I told you I make last time.
Oh,
just
shit.
to get it up and going at all the costs. So I was like, that's fucking crazy. I know you can only share so much, but can you share what year, if you guys did break into 7 figures of gross revenue from the podcast?
I mean, definitely within the first few years.
I mean, that's incredible. Like that's like like for people listening right now, that's like you're talking about the top 1% of the top 1% podcasting that can gross over $1 million. That's fucking awesome.
And you do, as you make more, your costs should
Yeah.
go up, right?
Yeah.
So we built a beautiful studio. We want it to be a great viewing experience for our
Yeah.
audience. We have a full-time and a part-time editor. We have more camera angles. We invested in better lighting and better cameras and better audio. And Ashley has always been in charge of that. And she's great at it.
Yeah.
And we have a phenomenal editor named Anna who does full video and puts it on YouTube. But you do have to spend more, I think, to make it a better viewing experience.
Yeah.
For most people.
No, I think that makes perfect sense.
I mean,
like
Nick has
keep investing in it.
Nick has like 5 people on that show, 6 people
Just
on
on
the
the show, and then the back end of people he has, like, helping him with booking guests and like PR and all that. I mean, and his video editing is incredible. Like, yeah, you got to spend more to make more. I think when I talk about it, Nick, he had reality TV on his foundation to help him with this, right? I had reality TV on my foundation. A lot of people have a storyline like that. What's so cool about what you guys have done is you're in social media, but you did it just from taking your blend in chemistry and comedy and relatability and building a community and not having to, go on one of these reality shows as a backing. And what I think is so great about that is that someone listening to this right now, you can do it too, especially in 2025. Like if you have something special, if you have a niche, if you have a means to build a community, you could do it too. What advice would you give to someone that's like, I kind of want to do it, and they could hear it from you because you did it from the bottom to the top?
I think you should do anything that makes you happy. I think that you got to break a couple eggs to make an omelet. It's not going to be perfect right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I think that if you enjoy something, I think you should do it. Ashley and I didn't go into this thinking, we didn't have a dollar amount attached to it. I was like, I hope this works out and I hope this is my thing and what I can make money from. But I did it to make money, of course, but I didn't do it to make a certain amount of money.
Sure.
I think today you have to go into it assuming you're not going to make money for a while.
Yeah.
My advice is, decide what this is before you start it. Is it just 2 people chatting? Ask yourself, why would someone listen to this? And I don't mean that negatively. Why would any product you sell or service, you should say, why does anybody need this? What hole does it fill in the world? Ashley and I at the time were just 2 girls dating in New York. And I think we were funny and I think we were willing to chat about our dating lives. I don't even know if you could start a podcast like that today. Just 2 girls that just want to chat about dating.
Yeah.
I mean, Call Her Daddy was like that too.
Yeah. 100%.
And I've given myself, and so has Ashley, a master class in psychology of relationships and dating. And we've had so many people on there, experts in their field. And I've made it my job and my business in the world to read all these people's books and take these classes and listen to podcasts. And I want people to come to me as a relationship expert. But I think if you're going to start today, is it something you enjoy? Just, buy a mic on Amazon and a soundboard and just try it, see if you like it. But
give it a go.
If you want it to be a business, you have to ask yourself, why would anybody listen to this? I mean, you are the perfect example of somebody that has like an expertise and a niche.
Yeah.
My favorite shows in the world are not shows where people are just like, shoot the shit.
Yeah.
You got to be really famous if I'm going to listen to you shoot the shit.
Yeah, but you guys shoot the shit, but you build community and you have dating, relationship, taboo topics, pop culture. So it's kind of like you've hit a 2-for-1 almost.
I mean, I would hope so. And I appreciate you saying that. We want every episode to be like must-see TV.
Yeah.
Every week we catch everybody up on our lives for like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. So
dating.
So there's a secret there. It's like relevancy. It's new.
We want people to come back every week. And then we pick a specific topic every single week. So if you want episodes about finance, you can go on our website, it's girlsgoteat.com, and type in money. And you'll find like 5 to 6 episodes about investing.
That's really cool.
We had Tori Dunlop on our show, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
She just talked about investing.
Yeah.
You came on and talked about money in relationships and how to talk to your partner about it. But we try to be really focused on every episode of one topic so that people are like, what is the point of this? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Well, you're here for breakup content. You're here for sex content, finance,
whatever. Okay, you're hitting it all. I'm trying to keep a straight face because I got to make this transition because time's ticking. But you did say what you got to do is find what hole the products can serve. That's what you have to do as a business model. You guys did that figuratively and physically. with your
You did
section.
great. No, that was a great transition. Polls, literally and figuratively.
You were telling me in your answer, and I thought about that. I just started laughing. But that's the transition we're going to make to your sexual wellness company. Tell me a little bit about what the holes you guys serve and what products you guys have.
Ashley and I launched a sexual wellness business 3 years ago. It's called Vibes Only. During the pandemic, we started talking about, what does the world look like? And what is the next thing? I always encourage people to just say to their partner, this is a great way to enhance what I already like doing with you.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, there's a deficit and I want to make it better.
Yeah.
But we launched a sexual wellness business 3 years ago. And we just had talked during the pandemic about what's next? What can we provide? What can we create? And we have been experts in what are women looking for in the bedroom? How can they feel better about themselves? What does pleasure look like for women and for couples? And we launched with 3 toys, and that was it.
Okay. What year was this that you launched?
What year is this? 2025. So we launched in 2022 in June.
So you launched with 3 toys. When you started, did you have to inject capital to get it going, or did you guys have an investor? How'd that work?
Ashley and I self-funded the business completely.
Nice.
So we have and had no debt on the business at all.
Let's go.
We have a great partner that is our product partner. So she sources the toys. She helps us conceptualize everything, build the molds. It's really fun creating stuff. So like the cock ring, for example, we bought like 30 of them from every business, and we spread them out on the table, and we said to ourselves, what do we like about these? What do we not like about these? The feel, the size, the shape, the weight, the use, the vibration.
Interesting.
And we make lists of everything we like, and then we create molds of them.
Wow.
And we have about, I want to say 12 toys right now, and they're all different types, internal, external. We have air pulse vibrators. We have couple toys, lube, we have handcuffs, we have all kinds of fun stuff.
Do you sell it in retailers or just direct to consumer?
It's just direct to consumer right now.
Yeah. And how has the business been growing? Can you share how much it cost to start it?
We invested $1 million of our own money.
Okay. And have you guys made that $1 million back yet?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that a lot of businesses don't, right? So I think that's like everything you guys touch just turns to gold. I also think investing $1 million in any company is a huge commitment, right? So you guys took a shot, you took a risk. How would you say, like, as far as like profitability, do you make more off the podcast or more off the toys?
More off the podcast right now.
Yeah.
A product business is an animal I never fucking understood. And like, we were a little bit like, we'll just launch this,
Yeah.
We put all the time and effort and energy and money and great people around this that we could, but I still was naive about how tough it was to, number one, run a product company, but number 2, in a vice category.
Yeah.
So a vice category being drugs, weapons, sex. You can't advertise on Facebook marketing, for example. So every time you get pushed in, if I say to you, like, oh, love an engagement ring, and you will get pushed a million ads by Facebook right now.
Ads, yeah.
We can't do that. So there's all kinds of content restrictions about that. Credit card processors don't want to work with you. The media doesn't want to write about you.
Banks won't touch it.
That's what I'm saying. Credit card processors, banks won't touch it.
I mean, just like if you wanted lending and stuff, that becomes really hard.
It's tough. Some people just don't want to work with you. And it's interesting because we all have sex. Everyone has sex. But it's not, people don't want to work with your business.
To me, it should be more of a wellness category.
So I call it that.
It shouldn't be a what'd you call it?
I call it a sexual wellness business.
Yeah. Oh, vice category. Yeah. Yes. The word. Yeah. It should be, but it's like it's just as important as your vitamin section, honestly.
But
you gotta have sex. Like, I think we talked about it earlier. You gotta have sex. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's so important in life. Like it's really, you gotta have sex in your relationships. If you're single, like, sex is so important. And I never understand the concept of like, not like, first of all, jumping away from it, not stepping into it, and making it such a taboo topic.
And if you're not having sex, pleasure, just masturbation is like very important.
Or yeah, exactly.
And I think that it leads to, you feel better physically, you sleep better, you de-stress. There's so many benefits to the dopamine rush of an orgasm. And I think it's self-care, and you should have one every day. Yeah.
And you're like, men produce, you have testosterone, you produce semen, and it has to come out of your body. Like, you'll have a wet dream if you don't. It can't, like, our bodies are built that you have to ejaculate. If you don't ejaculate, it's just gonna be a wet dream, and that will happen. So it's like, why are we all like acting like this isn't a real? I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that like the walls have been shattered down, but I think being in a vice category is crazy. But the company's doing well, and it's been growing every year.
It's great. It's growing every year. We're going into holidays, which is really exciting for us. It's a big gift giving time for people. We always encourage like friends to gift each other. We have like great sets. We have great bundles. You don't have to give somebody a cock ring, if you don't want to. We have tons of intro vibrators that are, a little more like first level. I actually was really surprised by how many people I knew that had never owned a vibrator. Friends of mine that I think are hypersexual that just had never bought one. So there's tons of stuff you can buy. We also have flavored oral enhancers. We have lube. We have silicone handcuffs, which are a really nice entree into bondage.
Okay.
We have a massage candle that you light. It smells like Santal. It's beautiful. And you pour it on somebody and give a little massage with it.
Oh, wow.
We just launched a sex pillow, which I love.
Okay.
And it's a wedge and you kind of prop it up under your butt and you can get into like different positions with it. So there's lots to choose from. And for holidays, this is like an amazing gift for somebody. And our packaging is really high end. So people always say like, what's the differentiator? We have a lot of variety, but the packaging is like really luxe. And we based it off of the unboxing experience of like an iPhone or an Hermes scarf. And we want people to feel like really proud to gift it to their partner or themselves or a friend.
I love it. All right. Well, congratulations. You invested $1 million. You recouped it back. You guys are flourishing in the sexual wellness business, your podcast. The one thing we haven't touched on, I kind of want to touch on a little bit. You did transition to Dear Media. I've been with Dear Media before. We even talked a little bit about before you went. They've done a great job over there. They continue to blow up. What's been the biggest difference so far?
I'm really happy with them. They have great shows under the network. They have tons of women that are on the network. Everyone I interact with, everybody we engage with is good at their jobs. They're nice. They're friendly. It's been a lovely experience. So I was saying before, you've ad networks that don't really speak the language of marrying like podcast advertising with social.
Yeah.
They really do. So they really are experts at, okay, we're going to bring you this brand, but let's also tie in social media. So for example, we do a lot of business with like A24 is one of them. So their movies.
Yeah.
And not only will we do like an ad on the podcast for it, but they want us to cut reels and talk about the movies, and that's fun. And Dear Media just does a really good job of going as deep as possible with different brands. And they can, if you're drinking a beverage, they can have it in the shot on YouTube and things like that. But
paid for integration.
It hasn't changed my life intensely day to day. Ashley and I have always recorded in our own studio. We have our own in-house editing team, but they're nice. They pay on time. They bring us a lot of advertisers and a lot of brands, and I'm always really happy with the brands.
Yeah.
No one forces us to put any brands on the show. It's always, please approve this. Here's a sample of the product.
Love it.
They've been lovely to work with.
That's great. We look at all different businesses on the show, and there's cyclical, there's changes in the business. Have you guys ever had a year where revenue did dip down and then came back? Or has it always been consistent growth?
Not huge dips, but certainly plateaus.
Okay.
Podcasting, the amount of people that have gotten into podcasting, the oversaturation is unbelievable. And also, people just get tired of things.
Yeah.
There's very few shows that I've listened to consistently for 8 years.
Yeah,
that's
pick up an episode here or there, but
yeah. And that's asking a lot of people. So things just kind of ebb and flow in popularity. The touring business has been great, and that's always grown. And I think it's helped us to stay connected to our audience. But there's definitely years where things have just plateaued, just the sheer volume. After 8 years, how do you stay relevant? How do you change? How do you, that's what the sexual wellness business was. Ashley went on her own tour this year.
Cool.
And Ashley's a stand-up comedian. She did her own tour. She just shot her special. It's amazing.
So cool.
And I have been writing my own stuff, so I want to take that on the road solo myself.
Let's go.
And so I've just been practicing doing stand-up at some clubs and things like that. And so it's just, what are new ways to reach your audience, provide value? What are different kinds of guests that you can lean into? We are doing more solo episodes recently. They just perform really well. People like to hear the two of us talk. We try to pull our audience as much as possible.
So your episodes where just you two talking will do better than bringing a guest on?
A lot of the time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So my theory
Which
here.
makes it easier too, honestly.
Yeah, my theory here is that people come to the show because they like Ashley and I, and if they don't like the guest, they'll skip the episode.
Right, it makes sense.
Bigger guests always make the episode pop, of course. We've had like amazing people on like yourself.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's always, listen, at some point I can't speak to finance the way you could speak to finance. So I'm out of my league. And I don't have children. I don't think I plan to ever have children. And so I can't speak on having children or having a long-term marriage, but we want to speak to those listeners.
Yeah.
So it's important to have guests on that can speak to those things.
I love it. What's the dream income wise? What do you say like 1 year I want to make this amount of money? Like what's your dream?
why cap it, right?
Ooh, I like it. You don't have like you're trying to hit this number.
10 million?
Okay, 10 million. When you hit 10 million, you got to come back on.
Okay.
I feel like
We'll
you guys could,
celebrate.
I mean, I feel, I'm just guessing. I think you could sell the IP for more than 10 million probably at this point, but what the hell do I know? Pretty cool stuff. And then when you look at your career in like 5 years from now, if you had the crystal ball, where do you think it's going to be?
I mean, I will do this podcast until the wheels fall off, until no one wants to listen anymore. Ashley and I will be 80 years old still
Yeah.
talking about this stuff. It's the greatest gift in the world. No matter who I end up with, no matter what else I do with my life, being able to affect these people's lives in a really positive way, whether it's encouraging somebody to leave a relationship that's really toxic or stay in a relationship that they're really fighting for and they don't know how to just sort of like change those little things. Encouraging women to just have better lives, more friendships, negotiate their jobs better, create boundaries that they're proud of. Any of those things, or just because somebody was having a bad day and I made them laugh. Like nothing will ever be more important that I do in the world. And so I'll do this forever. That's the goal.
Love it. You and Ashley sitting in the wheelchairs in the nursing home, talking about the creep down the road, trying to hit on you guys. I'll tell you what, that will make for good TV, good podcast.
Old ladies got it.
Everything. Well, we really haven't had someone come on and talk all about podcasting, the ins and outs and the success from it. So we really appreciate you coming on, but we got to wrap with a trading secret. So something specific to you, maybe it could be advice that you give your listeners, but it's a trading secret that's specific to your career track, everything you've been through, and you can't learn it from a TikTok tutorial or professor, only from you.
My advice on the podcast has always been the same. Build a life that you are really proud of, and the partner will be in addition to that. That's beautiful. But have a career that you're excited about, have hobbies and interests you're excited about. Surround yourself with people that you are proud to be surrounded by, and you will have a great life. And I think, we're all searching for that partner, but if you create all those other things, the partner will just be this like beautiful cherry on the top.
I love it. I think that's a great trading secret. I always like to give a trading secret that I think I learned during the interview. Trading secret I think I learned is even when Ashley was asking you, like, what do you think your parents will think about it? You're like, we'll see. You've always been able to step into areas that might create a little discomfort or taboo subjects, but those subjects are all things that like we're all dealing with 24/7. We're all thinking about 24/7. And with that, your ability to like build community from that will be forever lasting. So I think like that's a really cool thing. You could build community by going places people won't go because they're uncomfortable, but we all want to go and we just don't know how to get there. So I think that's my trading secret from you, Rayna. Thank you for being on Trading Secrets. Where can people find your podcast, your new sex pillow, the toys, all the goods, cock rings and all? Where can they find it?
The business is called Vibes Only, so it's vibesonly.com.
Vibesonly.com.
We are at Girls Gotta Eat everywhere. Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Instagram, and I am Rayna.Greenberg on Instagram.
Rayna.Greenberg on Instagram. Make sure you go give her a follow. And Rayna, thank you so much for being on Trading Secrets.
Thanks for having me.